Welcome back to This Is How We Do It. This morning, Kasha wanted a Mexican omelet, so we're gonna whip up a Mexican omelet. I got 2 eggs and chorizo. We're gonna fry the chorizo separate. We have the 2 eggs for the omelet, salt and pepper, always, garlic. Now the salt and pepper is gonna go in the omelet, but the salt and pepper and garlic are also gonna go in a topping I'm gonna make for it, which is kind of like a pico, but it's just a fresh topping with avocado, tomatoes, onion, cilantro. You can use lime juice or lemon juice, sour cream to top it, cheese for in the omelet, and butter to cook it with. So we're gonna get started here. So this sausage I'm using is just regular pork chorizo sausage. You can get this in spicy, medium, the brand. You'll find a preference when you go to the store which one you like. We just usually do a regular one. Chorizo usually is a little bit spicy already, so if you get a hot one, it's going to be more hot than the standard one, which is still warm. So start with standard and you work your way up. Just cut the tip off of that. And we're going to fry that chorizo. My pan's already on medium, so it should already be hot. And just squeeze it out of this little tube. The chorizo is a very greasy sausage, so as it heats, it's going to get very greasy. And I'm going to start mixing it around to get it to start breaking down in the grease. We might turn the heat down, but you start to see the grease already coming around the pan. Just kind of chop it up. It'll start breaking down here. It comes out as a real fine meat. And we're just frying this up. Once it starts to go a little better here, I'll leave it alone. I just want to kind of get it chunked up and make sure it's not sticking before I walk away from it. It will start breaking down into smaller pieces. So we might go a little bit slower on the heat just to not burn it, but spread it out. Now the one thing about chorizo, the grease is grease. It's probably not good for you, but it's like baking grease. If you put it in your product, it's going to make it taste a lot better than if you strain all that grease out. So we're going to leave all that grease and goodness in there. When we mix it with the egg, it's going to give the egg the flavor. So now I'm going to step over here and do a little bit of a topping for it. And we'll separate this topping out also in a second video, just so if you want to see just the topping, you can do that. I'm going to get some knife again. Make sure you always got a clean, sharp knife. Use your steel on them. So Kasha likes like a pico, so we're going to use this tomato I used yesterday. And we're going to put some tomato in here. It's, like I said, it's similar to a pico de gallo. Chop up some tomatoes. This is just going on top of it. That's going to be enough chorizo to make quite a few omelets. So what we usually do is we'll use it first in an omelet, and what we have left over we can mix with other things later. So we can always go over that too. This is a lot of chorizo in that whole pack, but I like to cook it all at one time just to make sure it's done right. Okay, so we got our tomatoes in there. You can use as many or as little as you like. I'm going to do some green onion. You can use white onion, but we prefer green onion. It looks better in there, I think. Do some green onion in there. And we might go over some other things. I've had comments about cutting and things like that. Just remember when you're cutting, everyone says, how do you cut fast or chop fast? Keep your fingers down, and if you have a knife with a wide blade, you're less likely to cut yourself because you're running the knife, you're literally putting the knife on your knuckle and going up and down. So when you chop, you're never coming in contact with you. It also makes it so when you want to cut slices, you just pull your hand back slowly, not the knife. You just keep the knife on that knuckle so you don't hurt yourself. Okay, these jalapenos have been pretty hot lately. You never know on your jalapenos, sometimes they're not. We'll put some in there. You can take out the seeds if you like. I just put it all in. And then you got to have some cilantro. Chop a little bit off. Cilantro is a love-hate relationship. You either love it, the flavor, or you think it tastes like soap. About 20% of the population has an enzyme in their mouth that makes cilantro taste like soap. I'm going to do some salt, and we're going to do some pepper, and that's just shake what you like. I'm probably going to do, I don't know what you can see here, like 1/8 of a teaspoon, just enough because we're not doing a big portion of this. And then we're going to do some avocado. This is where it gets a lot different than the pico. Usually you'd use lime juice in there. I'm going to put a capful, maybe 2 capfuls of lemon juice. You can do lime if you have it. I just don't happen to have it today. Did I start cutting this yet? Hopefully I didn't cut into that once when I was talking. Roll it around your knife. Spin it. Oh, see, I did cut it twice. Let me get a spoon to get that out of there. Easiest way to get the avocado out is using a spoon. There's no peeling involved with a knife or anything. You just scoop it. Same thing down here with what you got left. Just go around, spin it the other way. You're pushing down on the skin, so it just comes right off. And you get that little bit I went too high on. Didn't push down hard enough. There you go. You got a nice looking avocado. Get the brown stuff off. I'm just going to chop that up, put it right in that mix. So right on top. You can do smaller pieces. Chop it a couple more times. And then mix that in there. Makes for a nice fresh topping on your burrito in the morning. You're getting a lot, or your omelet, you're getting a lot of good veggies. We love our pico de gallo. And you can always taste it, make sure you got enough salt and pepper. When you start adding avocado, you're gonna need more salt. That really doesn't have any real flavor. And then you're just gonna let that sit till we're done. We'll put that off to the side. See how it's getting nice and fine pieces of meat in there? Okay, so our chorizo looks nice and done. You see it's getting all browned on the edges. I love chorizo. I used to live in San Antonio and it was one of my favorite meats and all the Mexicans. That and the fajita meat, the beef steak fajitas. So now we got that all done. We're just going to set it off to the side. And we're going to switch pans to an omelet pan. Okay, so we got a nice 7 or 8 inch omelet pan here, or an egg pan. A little bit smaller, so it makes it easier to deal with this. We're going to take our 2 eggs while that's heating up. And you can do 2 or 3 eggs. And we're going to put the salt and pepper in again, just a dash of each. Whip it. Okay, now our pan's getting hot. Now this one, depending on how you want to do your omelet, most people when they have omelets, they always think an omelet's like folded in half, like the cheese one that we do. That's how a lot of people do omelets, but the flavor seems to be really not in the egg, it's all separated. So when we do the Mexican omelet, take a nice scoop of the chorizo, and that's going to have enough grease in it. Whatever you want in that one omelet. You're going to put that in there right away, and then you're going to put your egg right into it. And we're going to whip the meat into the egg. That way the flavor is all the way through the omelet, not just on, I'll go ahead and use this one, not just in the section of meat when you bite into it. So we're going to kind of mush that around in there, make sure it gets mixed in there. Get a different spatula. That one isn't working real well. Okay, so now we got it mixed in pretty good. We're going to do that process. You're going to tip the pan, get all the wet stuff out of there that you can get. You see it dripping down there. Now this would be considered a whipped omelet instead of a traditional folded omelet. So once we get it where we want it here, it's getting close. I gotta make sure it releases from the pan. There should be enough grease in there to do that. If it starts sticking, you can always put a little piece of butter. I'll kind of show you here. If you get it where it sticks, you just take a little piece of butter and put it on the outside. You can kind of move it around with your thing here, and that'll just release it from the pan. So you can do that. Okay, you can flip it by hand, or you do the flip like that. Now we're gonna put some cheese in there. The cheese will still stay in the middle. This is a nice cheesy omelet. We like a lot of cheese. And it's so hot, it should melt that cheese by the time you get to your presentation of it. Okay, so now to get that out of the pan, since we're doing now it's folded, we're just gonna lay it on the pan halfway and then just roll your pan over it, like so. Then you're gonna, if you use this sauce, you're gonna take this. Oh, actually, you know what we forgot to do? This got some extra cheese on there because we all like extra cheese. Can't hurt with extra cheese on top. And we're gonna put some more sauce on it. We like a lot of this stuff. It makes it nice and fresh. Whip open our sour cream. Sour cream optional, but it does make it taste a lot better. And see if I can pretty it up a little bit, cover up that little mess there. There you go, we'll pretty it up. And you got a fresh Mexican omelet. Let me cut into it and show you how it looks. So now when you bite into the egg, you'll get no egg stuff without it. And all the cheese is melted in there. It should be a very flavorful omelet. Can't go wrong with that one if you like Mexican food. And you love chorizo like I do. That's a winner. Please try it and enjoy. Thank you for watching. Leave some comments if you've got some ideas that you want us to try cooking for you. And hope to see you soon.